program. My name is Tunde Alabian. It's a pleasure to have you join us this beautiful evening as we go on this program, NEWSPUNCH, to look at issues around the Commonwealth in the wake of the Windrush crisis, where the government made a couple of, should I say, mistakes. Eventually came back apologizing, and then came back and they put some measures in place to correct some of these mistakes they made. Over time, people that have been affected, that generation and their children, beyond that level, the Commonwealth as a whole, they have actually expressed some kind of concern about how the government is going about its immigration policy and the hostile environment that the then Home Secretary, who is now the Prime Minister, did establish during our time. On the program today, we'll be taking a look at how far have we gone with the issue of the Windrush. Has anything changed? And who is benefiting, UK or the rest of the Commonwealth citizens in terms of the Commonwealth in the United Kingdom? In whose interest is the Commonwealth? But basically, we'll draw down to the Windrush issues. My name is Tunde Alabi. You're welcome to the program. Joining me on the program today is a politician, a friend of the House, Ashburn Older. Ashburn, thank you for being part of the program again today. Ashburn is the chair of the Caribbean Libertarian. Yeah, I'm right? And he is also a politician on the platform of the Lib Dem. Ashburn, thank you for joining us on the program today. And in the house is Norma Wright. Norma Wright is a lawyer, and she's also a politician. Well, okay, should I say she's a politician? But I do know she is, she's got some soft spot for the Conservative Party. So maybe she's going to tell us more about that. Norma, thank you for joining us on the program. Am I right to say you're a politician? Are you?
Yes, a former parliamentary candidate for Newcastle Eastern.
Also, you're a politician then?
So I'm a politician.
Oh, awesome. All right. Guys, thank you for joining us on the program today. In the wake of the Windrush crisis, we also what happened. It threw the entire United Kingdom into some kind of frenzy. And people were like, what is going on? Why has the government suddenly come with such an issue? Why has the government made such a blunder, especially during the Commonwealth Summit in the UK here? But fast forward, the government has put in place a couple of measures to redress the situation. Fast forward, the government has actually apologized profusely a couple of times to people who have been affected. But if you take a look at the bigger picture, beyond the Windrush scandal, the Commonwealth citizens have actually said, look, hang on 1 minute, it's not about the Windrush alone. There are a couple of other people who have actually suffered in the United Kingdom, who are from the Commonwealth nations, who they think should have some special interest. Let's take this one after the other, Ashburn. When the Windrush crisis happened, were you pleased so far with the way the government has handled this?
Well, absolutely not. I think the government made a right blunder of the whole situation. I think the government was aware of what was happening, and what's been going on is not something that's new. That's been going on for years. So the government has made a blunder, and prior to that, Theresa May should be held and is responsible, because at the time, Theresa May was the Home Secretary. So Theresa May should be, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, Theresa May should sort of resign on the grounds of what's happened. So yes, she has done a blunder.
But so far, do you think the government has done some good job?
They have done absolutely nothing. Simply Theresa apologized. We accept that she apologized. But still, we still have people as we speak in detention centers. We still have people in the Caribbean hasn't been brought back. So there's a lot more Theresa May can do. And yet she hasn't fulfilled that promise she said she would do in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks is gone now.
We do understand, and the government did understand the fact that they made mistakes, and they apologized several times. They changed the Home Secretary, or was forced to resign, whichever way we'll put it. And we have, for the first time, we have a Home Secretary who is of the ethnic minority, and things seem to be working. In your own view, would you say the government has done very well?
No, I wouldn't. And I think it is an unusual situation because you'll see a Lib Dem and a Conservative person agree on one point, and that is that the government has not done very
You may
well
have
at
two
all.
different I may have two different political parties on the program, but in terms of common belief, you do share some kind of common beliefs in terms of the Windrush
Of course,
crisis.
the common belief is anger, the common belief is dismay, the common belief is that there should be a solution, and not just a solution of giving people British citizenship, but also they're talking about compensation. But when you think that families have been damaged, people have committed suicide, lives have been lost, so compensation doesn't justify the hurt and the pain that has been suffered as a result of these immigration policies. And I think Theresa May, and I totally agree with Mr. Holder here, I do believe she should resign. And I formally call for her resignation because what she has done is despicable.
So you think so far what the government has done is not adequate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. It's inadequate.
And more needs to be done.
Ashburn, if you take a look at, one would have imagined when we had the elections, the local council election, one would have imagined that people would have used that election to voice their anger. And in fact, the Labour Party thought it was going to sweep most of the councils following that crisis. But the opposite happened. Rather, the Conservative tend to have consolidated on its gains.
As far as I'm concerned, the Labour...
Does that not say that people have forgotten this and they are ready to move forward?
As far as I'm concerned, the Labour Party hasn't done enough. The Labour Party really haven't voiced their
Lib Dem hasn't done any better as well.
I totally agree with that. Lib Dem has done absolutely nothing as far as I'm concerned. We haven't voiced our opinion. We haven't done nothing, and I totally accept that. So therefore, we ourselves as the Lib Dems have let the Windrush community down. So therefore, we are just as guilty as the Labour. And by not sort of voicing our opinion in the election, we didn't gain the voting from the Africans and Caribbean communities, predominant in the Caribbean community. We didn't gain anything at all in that respect. And Labour themselves, well, predominantly sort of the Caribbean sort of strongly believe for voting for Labour. But however, because David Lammy and Dana Abbott voiced their opinion, I think the Labour sustained a certain amount of their votes in the black community. So they did very well because Diana was speaking out and Lammy was speaking out.
My
but Liberal Democrat didn't do anything.
My question is, Ashburn, do you think, going by the result of that election, people are ready to let go? They've forgotten this and they are moving forward. Do you not think so?
I don't think so.
Because they tend not to hold the government to ransom. They tend not to want to punish the government as people had expected.
You see, in the Caribbean community, we are holding the government to ransom. There is lots of activities happening. And instead of Norman and myself, we are fighting and pursuing this continuous pressure on the government to see that they're held accountable. It's something we will not let die. If we kind of sit back and think in 2-3 weeks it's all faded away and it's finished, it's not. We're going to continue pursuing it.
Go on.
We're going to continue pursuing it, and we'll continue putting pressure on the government until they return all the expatriates that's come back, they send back to the Caribbean, back to this country. And not only that, we will pursue and continue to pressurize the Caribbean prime ministers because they are aware of these sort of things being happening. They're aware this has been going on for years. And yet, island Caribbean sat back, prime ministers sat back and did nothing until we as diasporas put pressure on them and hopefully something may happen. I mean, take example, as you rightly said, we had the Commonwealth conference, recently. Nobody knows what happened. In fact, what's the sense of the Commonwealth? What actually happened? Did our prime ministers address the situation at Windrush? Nobody knows. Nobody told us what happened. Or they simply come here sort of to discuss what they already know is happening to the Commonwealth. But the main issue we have is to keep on pressurizing government, keep on pressurizing Theresa May, until every single diasporas that were sent back, or Windrush was sent back, are back in this country, and as Norma said, they're given back the rights they had, given back their homes, given back the medical facilities they need, give them back the jobs that was taken away from them, and then also provide medical attention for them. So we'll continue pursuing that.
I think quite a lot of the diaspora are disillusioned with politics at the moment, whether it be Lib Dem, Greens, Conservative. So therefore, you do not get our people out to vote. They really are disillusioned. And in terms of what's happened with the Windrush situation, I think the disillusionment has even gone sort of even further into a further...
Okay.
Because they don't believe that the politicians will do what they say. They don't believe that they can do what they say. And they do not believe that there is a future for them here in the UK.
All right. I'm going to put you on hold, and we're going to quick short break. Okay. When we come back from the short break, we'll continue that discussion. Let's go on a short break now. I'll be back. Don't go away.
Bavidi Luxury Hotel, the newest home away from home in the Nigerian hospitality industry. 10 minutes only from the local and international airports. It's the perfect spot for your relaxation whenever you are in Lagos. 24-hour non-stop electricity, cozy and colorful rooms, Wi-Fi internet connection, and flat screen cable television. Bavidi Luxury Hotel. Our exquisite restaurant and full bar are simply second to none in taste and style. Bavidi Luxury Hotel. We are located at the posh serene neighborhood in the Keja Business District. Your satisfaction is our first concern, so we train our staff to be professional and personable. Bavidi Luxury Hotel, number 20 Moshuda Bella Crescent, Ikeja, Lagos. Telephone +234-1291-7929, +234-708-287-7512. Bavidi Luxury Hotel, the new home away from home.
Here is Rose on All Sides.
Hi, my name is Rose Peter Graham. My show is coming on soon on Ben Television Live.
It will penetrate the soul of nations to bring you sizzling stories.
We're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things. You think about it and beyond your imagination.
Trending news.
And talking about people, I love people.
In the lighter mood.
There's a lot of people, culture to learn, their tradition.
It will provoke controversies, but we'll stick to the facts.
You know, things just spring up and happens like that. Not what you're expecting. Of course, I love to do the unexpected.
When you see it from all sides, then it is Rose on All Sides.
Live every Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. on this station.
My good God. Not be my fault, oh. Jehovah just do me something. And it is a marvelous